Well, hello. This is Mike Harrigan. Welcome again to another edition of Brain Buzz with Mike. I am really excited to be with you here again this Tuesday afternoon. Today's topic is that we are going to dig in a little deeper into the brain-body connection. It's something that we've talked about often. In fact, in an earlier segment, we discussed some studies that showed that training the brain and the body together was superior in many cases to training the brain and the body separately. Today, we're going to dig a little deeper into that and explain why simultaneous brain-body training can be so beneficial. But first, I'm going to start by referencing an article that I just read by Indira Raman. The title of the article is Unhappiness is a Palate Cleanser. Again, it's by Indira Raman, spelled R-A-M-A-N, and it's Unhappiness is a Palate Cleanser. I highly recommend you read this article. It is really quite fascinating. Basically, what it does, it explains a lot of the science, the biology, and the neurology behind an old cliche. So the cliche is you need some sadness or you need some unhappiness in order to appreciate happiness. And I know that it is cliche, but in fact, there's a lot of science behind this. It's in fact true that you do need to experience physically. You need to experience unhappiness in order to appreciate happiness. And there are a number of other reasons or things that are going on that it's beneficial to experience alternatives so that you appreciate something that you already have. Okay, but it's really exciting science, and it's something that I highly recommend you read. But what I'm going to reference today is a part of the article, an excerpt, which focuses on the connection between the brain and the body, because that's really linchpin to what we do here at the Braining Center. So I'm going to start by reading a passage from that article, and it reads like this. Many moment-to-moment functions of the brain seem so natural that we can hardly distance ourselves enough to reflect upon them. But the brain notices. It is obvious once you consider it that the basic job of the brain is to perceive. With those perceptions, it can evaluate, and based on those evaluations, it can act. This work is carried out by neurons of the nervous system. The nervous system detects and represents input from the outside world and the inside world, inside us. It then analyzes the data, and then it responds to this analysis with the appropriate action. The action taken generally involves movement, so neurons send the signals that make the muscles contract, allowing us to do things. So, in all, the input is sensory, the analysis is often called associative, and the output is motor. So the sensory, associative, motor triplet is the neural version of perceiving, evaluating, and doing. So what does all that mean? Let's unpack it a little bit. Basically, what it's saying is that the neural system, the system that controls everything we think and everything that we do, is throughout our brain and body and is completely connected. Your body is full, in fact, of peripheral nervous systems, subsystems throughout your body, which are communicating constantly with your brain. They are sending and receiving data from your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, your various limbs, your legs, your hands, your feet, as well as your internal organs, your heart, your lungs, and everything else. All those peripheral nervous systems are in constant communication with your brain all the time. The data is telling the brain what's going on outside of your body, as well as what's going on inside your body. So now what's happening in your brain? Well, you have a number of complicated subsystems within the brain itself. These systems collect that data from the body. Other systems will analyze that data. And then you have systems that will send messages back to the body so that it can respond. And all this is happening all the time. So that means that when you do something that even seems really trivial, like raising your hand in response to a question from a teacher, you're actually activating many, many systems throughout the brain and body, right? So that might seem obvious and unimportant, but let's just stop and think about it. That simple act requires the brain to receive data, analyze data, and then respond to that information. The better those systems are working together, the better your performance is going to be. You're going to be able to react faster and more accurately. So let's take it a step further. By doing specific types of training, which include various physical movements, as well as various cognitive challenges at the same time, we are actually activating more systems throughout the brain and the body simultaneously. We're forcing the brains to process data from multiple sources simultaneously while making various mental calculations, right? So by doing that, we're training our brain to be able to process information faster and more effectively and more accurately. And isn't that, in fact, what real life is all about? We are constantly trying to process information from multiple sources all the time. Your eyes, your ears, your limbs, even your internal organs, all the time. Let's take a couple of examples. So now I know that many of you out there are probably professional quarterbacks and you have played in, Super Bowls, right? So when you did that, if you remember, you had to control your body, you had to control your legs, your arms, all your various body parts, while you were trying to listen to see what's going on around you. At the same time, you had to be scanning the field to see where all the players are and what's going on. At the same time, you have to remember what down it is, what play you're running, where the various players are supposed to be, how much time is left on the clock, and do all these calculations in just a matter of a few seconds so you can make the absolute right decision and do it in a way that you will come out victorious. It's a lot. And that's why professional athletes are now more and more incorporating cognitive training into their physical training. But what if people like me, not like you, people who are not professional athletes, what good is it for us? It's really the same. The average person who, let's just say, has to navigate through a very crowded cafeteria, balancing a tray of food and liquid, while their friend is talking in one ear, maybe another friend is talking in the other ear. At the same time, they have to be scanning the cafeteria, so they can't be looking at the tray. They have to be scanning the cafeteria to see who's moving around and whether there's spills on the floor that they have to avoid. At the same time, they have to find where their table is and what's the best route to get to that. All the while, your friends are still talking to you. You're still getting all this other input through your eyes, and you're trying to make all these calculations while all this input is coming in. It's not easy, right? But here's the thing. We can train ourselves to do this better. We can train ourselves to get our brain and our bodies to work together more efficiently so that we can perform under stress. And that's our goal. Optimal performance, even under stress, right? That's the primary premise behind a lot of what the Braining Center does. We try to emulate real life so that you're prepared for real life, right? So it really doesn't matter if you're a quarterback trying to get down the field or a race car driver trying to get around a track, or one of us just trying to drive on a busy highway or go up an escalator or navigate through a crowded cafeteria. We all have to be able to take in information through our various limbs, through our eyes, through our ears, and even from our internal organs. And we need to stay calm while we're getting all this information, while we're making mental calculations in our brain. And then we need to make decisions based on that, get that information back down to our bodily limbs, to our limbs, so that we can make the right movements and make the right decisions. It's very, very complicated, but it's also something we can train for. And so I hope that that was helpful. I know that it is a topic we talk about a lot, the brain-body connection, but it was good. I hope to kind of unpack and really demonstrate how intricately those systems are connected, because you really can't affect one optimally without engaging the other. You can't get optimal cognitive performance without engaging the body, and you can't get optimal physical performance without engaging the brain. They are too tightly tied together. And so, again, I hope that answers or helps to clarify some of that gray area around the brain-body connection. If you have any questions about this or any other topic, you can always contact me at brainingcenter@headstrong1.com. Again, that email address is brainingcenter@headstrong1.com, or go to our website at brainingcenter.com. Thanks again, and I hope you have a great day.